Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we are going to check new kit from ICM. As you can see, that's a huge aircraft in 1/48 scale. That's a Dornier 17Z-2 and this time it copies a Finnish markings and it's written here that it's Finnish bomber. And this kit is already available in all good model shops like Modelimex, and we have a commercial final sample which will be interesting to see what is packed inside. So as you can see, packaging is quite typical for ICM. It's a quite colorful box, this beautiful box art on the front. Here you can see comparison with my hand. On the side we have some information about the kit, so we have short history note about real aircraft, and then we have some information about the kit. So there are 243 parts inside and wingspan will be equal to 335 millimeters, which is quite impressive for 48 scale World War II bomber. And then here we have profiles, color printed profiles for the same marking as what we see here, as far as you can see. As for the box, it is typical, or let's say traditional for ICM. We have this color printed top part and then we have sturdy white cardboard box which should protect all the parts inside. That's a top opening box with flap on the top, and as you can see right away we have assembly manual on the top and all plastic sprues packed into the same plastic bag. Of course we are going to start with plastic sprues and then we will continue with assembly manual and what is hidden in assembly manual. I think there will be a decals sheet. As you remember, this is a two-engine aircraft, so this is why we have some sprues in let's say double amount. Just give me a second to open them. So first we have this set of absolutely identical plastic frames, and I will show you on the one because they carry the same parts. And here we have engine parts, also we have some parts for landing gear system, and overall molding quality seems to be quite fine. And I can zoom in, for example, to these wheels. They look okay, but if you have a chance to get a resin replacement for this, it's better to use resin because this is a huge aircraft and of course such improvement won't be unnoticed. Then here you can see engine parts which are nicely molded for out of the box version, so I think once you paint them and install onto your airplane it should look quite good. Note that we have separately molded exhausts, so you will have to glue them one by one, be ready for this. The same can be said about these bombs. Well, at least bombs are molded as one-piece parts, as you can see here, so it will be easier to work with them. And what else? Here is quite interesting Mudguard for landing gear system. Note that it is protected with special frame which will preserve it intact, because here, for example, we have quite thin frame around this part. Next we have another plastic sprue. This one is dedicated to engine gondolas, and also we have here some internal and external equipment parts. For example, here we can see fuel tanks, here is the pilot seat, here are some cockpit elements, and again here we have thin frames for landing gear system. These are quite interesting actually. I will zoom in so that you can see them closer. As you can see, they're molded as one-piece parts, so you won't have to glue separate tubes together, but be careful with this because they should be separated somehow without damaging them, so I would recommend to use plastic saw and avoid using cutters with these parts. Then here we have dashboard parts. They look quite good, I would say, and I hope there are also decals included for dials on this dashboard, but even like this they look quite interesting. And then here you can see that tail wheel is molded together with tail section. Note that we have here a small amount of plastic flash, so be ready to clean it with sharp knife. And here you can see some of the cockpit elements which look quite good too. And here, by the way, are the fuel tanks which you saw before. Molding quality is really quite impressive, so just take your time while assembling this aircraft and you will be surprised with final result. As for fuselage halves, they come on this huge sprue. As you can see, they're quite long, and even though wingspan on this aircraft is bigger, still they look quite impressive. Note that they are molded without tail segment, of course. Here we have one piece nose section. Here we have some tail wing parts, separate ailerons, and these are cockpit elements actually. I will zoom in so that you can see them closer. Here they are. Again, nice detailing. We have those separate walls which will be inserted inside, and I really appreciate this single piece nose section because this means that you won't have any seams in such visible area on your kit. On the other side we have plain internal section because all cockpit parts, as you remember, are molded separately, but at least we have these position pins which should come handy for proper alignment of those parts. And here again you can see those walls which will be inserted inside fuselage. Next we have another plastic sprue, but this time it is packed into the separate plastic bag because these are clear parts, so such packaging should preserve it and, let's say, save it from possible scratches. Of course, here we have canopy parts which are molded as one-piece elements. You will need masks for this, so be ready to cut them with your own hand, or maybe to buy some aftermarket set. I would rather buy aftermarket set because, as you remember, Dornier had quite a complex canopy structure. Here you can see it closer, and cutting all those small squares might be a tricky task which will take plenty of time, so it's better just to invest your money into some aftermarket set. Apply it and use this time for better painting scheme, let's say. Then here we have last gray plastic sprue. These are wing parts. Note that ailerons are molded separately, but flaps are molded in. External detailing looks quite typical for big kits from ICM. As you can see, these are recessed panel lines and riveting in some places. It should look good with some pre-shading applied or maybe even washes. And inside, as far as I can guess, here we have position elements which should help you with proper alignment of these two parts together. So at least you won't be wasting your time trying to glue these huge elements together. Next we have assembly manual, as you remember. This one is printed in form of this large brochure which is color printed. We have short history note in Russian and English. Then we have parts map. And note that many parts won't be used in this kit, so be careful and use the right elements for your airplane. Here we have decals sheet, which is not that big, but here we have also decals, as I said before, for the dashboard, so you can use them if you don't like to use PE parts. But I would rather advise to use PE parts for better detailing of your big Dornier aircraft. Next we have assembly process. This one starts with cockpit, of course, and then we continue with attaching the cockpit forward to the fuselage. Then there is another fuselage half, we insert walls into it. Then we continue by closing the fuselage together, and as you can see we still install some walls inside. This is a wing assembly process, landing gear assembly process, and then we attach wing to the fuselage. This is a tail section assembly, and note that each section should be assembled separately. Then we assemble bomb bay, insert all those bombs inside aircraft. So it will be up to you how you copy those on your model. Those are landing gear system parts which are inserted in engine gondolas. Here we assemble both engines, and of course I think professionals might get an idea to open it somehow on their model and expose those nice engines on the finished model. And of course you can also add some wiring to this, maybe something else. Here you can see that there is an option to assemble them open or closed, so actually manufacturer thought about it and you get it out of the box. Here we install landing gear system, and then we continue with bomb bay doors, canopy, and note that canopy will be featuring several machine guns as it was on real aircraft. And then we have aircraft in ready state, let's say. So in total there are 84 steps to complete in order to have a complete Dornier 17. Here we have marking option guide, so there are two markings included. but I think there should be a possibility to find something else for this aircraft if you search for some reference guide or publications about this aircraft. So that's all for this video review. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, don't forget to write your opinion here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also you can support us by pressing the donate button on our website. And I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye!